Welcome to The Less Stressed Life, all about making this your time to feel freaking awesome about your life, health, and happiness. This podcast of The Less Stressed Life is hosted by Christa Biegler. Christa is an integrative registered dietitian nutritionist who specializes in reducing food-related stress, inflammation, and symptoms of food sensitivities. She brings over a decade of nutrition expertise and playing with her food to the table. From coaching, teaching, writing, and working within a major food company to behind the scenes for a health celebrity. To learn more, visit lessstressedlife.com.
Hey, it's Christa. So let's get to know each other on this premiere episode of The Less Stressed Life so you can know what to expect, what you'll find here, and if and how it's worth your time. Because they ain't making more time, so I want to respect yours. So you heard it from Mac, the epic voiceover talent of this podcast. I'm an integrative dietitian nutritionist, but what the heck is that anyway? Well, basically, my definition is that it's someone that wasn't going to settle for just okay and wanted more. So in short, I practiced nutrition the old school way I was taught for years as the discontent built up inside of me. I was over here in my own life busily experimenting with food and experimenting with a variety of other health things for years and learning cool things and having cool results and sometimes not. Sometimes it was a Pinterest fail, but I was learning a lot of things. And one of the major things I had experimented with was reducing inflammation. So what is inflammation? Well, inflammation lives in all of us. It's the itis at the end of any type of disease. It's the stubbed toe, the arthritis, the swelling, the pain, the bloating, the digestive irregularity. It's so many things. It's heart disease. It's diabetes. It's feeling freaking exhausted and not being able to get up in the morning alive and refreshed. It's brain fog. It's cravings. It's the stuff we deal with. We shouldn't, but we consider it normal. Like the status quo, like, oh, this is just how it is. I'm getting older. It's a friend and it's an enemy. It naturally occurs. You know, after exercise, our body naturally has some inflammation, but that's how our body repairs itself. But what happens when you have chronic low-grade inflammation forever? Well, you just continue to decline and feel crappier and crappier. And the more I learned about inflammation and how it was affecting us and everything it did, the more intrigued I was. And I was voracious for information. A collector of information. You see, have you ever heard of the Gallup Strength Survey? If you haven't, maybe check it out, especially if you're into those quiz things that tells you what type of personality type you are. You would love it. I took it twice, it's been around forever. So I took it twice, once in my freshman year when I was working for the College of Business at the university I was at, University of Nebraska-Lincoln at the top 10. Woohoo, go Huskers. I was a tech pet. I cleaned computers with antivirus software. It was pretty mind-numbing, but I got to talk to my boss about his bizarre food sensitivities, so it was all good. It was a fun time. And then later, again, I took it when I worked at a major food company as an intern 3 or 4 years later. It was fun because several of the strengths when I did it overlapped, which proves validity, right? When you take the same test years apart, you get the same kind of results. Well, I guess it's a pretty good thing. And when you read the results, sometimes you're like, yep, that's me. So one of the things is that I'm a collector of information. And so I just love gathering this information for you and interviewing people. So let's just talk a bit about The Less Stressed Life as a title, because honestly, The Less Stressed Life, stress wasn't my first choice at all. I don't really think of myself as an unstressed or an overstressed person, and I don't know that I should be the one giving advice about it, even though, I've been there and I've done that and things. So why? Well, I'll tell you why. Last year, I did a lot of live video on my Facebook page. It was a little mix of motivation, food recipes, some health background. But the thing that I learned was that with Facebook or any form of business social media, or even your website, is that you get to see analytics, right? So data, more data that tells you number of views, gender, ages of people watching. It doesn't tell me who watched, but I was able to see who watched if they liked or commented on my videos and they publicly made me aware of that they were watching. And I learned something from that experience when I looked at those analytics. When I would give a presentation, or not a presentation, but I would go live and talk about inflammation, or the title had anything to do with inflammation, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great of information. But I found out that the only people that watched were the people that gave a crap about inflammation that already knew about it. So I wasn't really helping the people that didn't know about it, which was a bummer because everyone needed to know these things. So I figured it out. I brainstormed. I want to help people before they know they need before they know it's inflammation, right? Like I want to help you with all the things in life that are causing that inflammation in your life, that stress. And then I hit on it. The only reasonable, easy to understand term that people could resonate with was stress. And that's what inflammation is. It's stress. So the less stressed life was born. So another thing that I got from the Gallup survey was that I was a strategist. So I love cataloging the information that I collect into a linear plan, a usable format, breaking it down to be digestible. Love that. I collect and connect people to information, and that's what I'm here to do for you, to bring you inspiration, tell you stories, make your life better. Yeah, obviously it's infused with health because that's who I am. But one of our first guests, Jess, explains that without health, the rest of life is more challenging to enjoy. And she's spot on it. As soon as you embrace that, you totally resonate and get it. So the topics of the Less Stressed Life umbrella are vast, but they all relate to a powerful story or something that improves your life. In our first few episodes, you'll hear an epic story of someone that awoke completely debilitated with a back injury, couldn't get off the floor, and what she did to heal the pain in as little as 2 weeks. I mean, it's a longer story, but you'll get the point. You'll hear about how sleeping helped one of my guests lose 15 pounds. You'll hear from my podcast accountability partner about how overcoming a chronic condition, how he did that by releasing himself from stress. You'll hear about another busy mom who keeps her cool despite many military moves, and her advice applies to any real change in family, even back to school time, which is when that episode will launch. So, I mean, anything that falls under the umbrella of, getting stuff done, sleep, integrative nutrition, lifestyle medicine, relationships, friendships, relaxation, life hacks, and of course, kitchen ninja tricks, is fair game. Heck, I'm even hoping to talk about the pros and cons of barefoot running. And what the heck is up with these people that wear those toe shoes? Because I want to know, is it going to make your life better? Let's find out. Anything that helps you sit in the driver's seat of your own happiness and less stress is fair game. And anytime you have a suggestion, just send me a note. hello@lessstressedlife.com, or find me online with the same name on my Facebook page, Christa Biegler RD. Here's what happened. After my first year of kind of reinventing how I was going to practice and doing health and lifestyle coaching, I became an accidental life coach, realizing it is about more than just food. There's a lot of pieces to living our best life, and I want to curate those tools and practices for you. So what does it mean to be an integrative nutritionist? Well, I think it's the least biased thing that you can be in healthcare is integrative, because it's the best of East and West. It's not just looking at medicine or traditional forms, but it's also looking at maybe some complementary and alternative forms, but not even that. More food as medicine, and figuring out what are the underlying stresses at the beginning before you do some treatment. And that's honestly where some people never really get better. They either are band-aiding things with supplements or with medications, and they never really take care of the underlying stressor at the very beginning. So my job is to look at the whole picture with a W, it's a very holistic view to know both sides. So that way you can make the best decision. It's the most objective form. Most often, it's somebody that's traditionally trained that's gone on to get additional training to look at both sides. It's about more than food. It's about all the stressors. So it's also about making sure you're in the right place at the right time and to be able to refer people to the right different resources, even if it's not you. I consider myself to be an expert in inflammation, in gut health, in sensitivities to food, and other stressors that prevent us from getting well. And I hope to share the many pearls on this journey toward a less stressed life together. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here and for listening. I think that the smartest people listen to podcasts or any kind of professional learning because they want to better themselves. And so I just thank you for taking this time out of your day to be here with me right now. For future episodes, if you want to have those automatically downloaded to your podcast app, you can just click the subscribe button and they'll automatically download. And after you listen, they'll automatically delete. I'd also love if you'd write us a review, which is the next tab over underneath the show on your device. And I look at every single one of those. I will look at every single one of those. And I'm excited to hear your feedback, your concerns, your comments, and just the things that really resonated with you out of each episode. I'll try to keep the episodes commuter length so that they're not too long and you can squeeze them into your day. But if they're chock full of crazy gold, you might see a few that are a little bit longer. I hope you don't mind. So without further ado, welcome to the launch of the Less Stressed Life. Let's do this.